Christmas 2012, during what should have been one of the most enjoyable times of year, I was stressed out of my mind. Because earlier that year, I had started a business to launch the biggest permaculture conference the world had ever seen. And financially, it wasn't working. Hundreds of thousands of dollars were on the line, and I wasn't sure if I would make it out the other side without declaring bankruptcy. The worst part about all this for me was it was my daughter's second Christmas, and I couldn't fully enjoy it. One of the most frustrating things in life is putting a massive amount of work into something without getting the reward that you expected for it. So much effort was expelled during that event for me, only to fall devastatingly short on the backside of the mountain. As a business owner, I've experienced this time and time again. Some letdowns are bigger than others. And that's what we're talking about today. Thanks for watching. I'm Diego, D-I-E-G-O, and I write about and talk about things that matter to me. This is When Effort Doesn't Equal Reward, Surviving the Valley After the Climb. My personal mountain. I started the Permaculture Voices conference back in 2012. For a year, I worked countless hours, spent a significant amount of money, and pushed myself mentally to the absolute limit. The goal was clear. I knew what I was trying to do. It was to create an event that would gain traction, be profitable, and form the core of a sustainable business. The reality? It was all for naught. After a year of work, I had nothing to show for it financially. When I say nothing, I specifically mean profits here, but I did gain many other non-monetary assets in the process. But it was a lot of hours for no pay. I went through a gamut of emotions during that event and after it, driven by the crushing realization that I earned for all that work. Realistically, it was probably $1,000 of work to barely break even. Lots of work, no reward. Well, breaking even is good enough. No, not really. In this case, breaking even was not good enough mentally. But this is a universal experience. It's not just me. If you look at the recent San Francisco 49ers, trip after trip, deep into the playoffs, culminating with the ultimate goal, a trip to the Super Bowl twice, trips which didn't deliver the prize that they really wanted, a win. They put in all that effort for the whole season, for the whole off season, you're training, and it's all for naught. You don't win what you wanted to win. You have nothing to show for it. Personal achievement, but you have a goal. You didn't hit it. After these letdowns, it's hard to bring the same effort the next time around. That's why they have what they call the Super Bowl hangover, and we saw it this year with the 49ers. Because the next time around, you sit there thinking, I invested so much into this. I needed this really, really bad. This was the future. Now I have to start over again from scratch. That's what it felt like for me in that event. I imagine that's what it felt like as those final seconds expired in the Super Bowl for the players on the 49ers. Back to square one. Us versus 31 other teams. We're starting over. It's as though someone steals your whole future from you. It feels terrible. You can see it. There it is. I can almost reach out and grab it, but gone in an instant. Maybe to never come back again. That letdown can be a hard pill to swallow. When I think back, was this blind enthusiasm that I had for the conference, or was I looking at reality how I should have? If you can avoid these letdowns, you want to. So could I have avoided it? Let's take a look at that. The first conference was a financial failure. And surprisingly, I went on to do 2 more. Some people might say that's stupid. I might even say it was stupid in hindsight. But I was likely blinded by unadulterated enthusiasm back then rather than looking at reality. But after 3 bites of the apple, enough was enough. I was never going back to that well again. It's like someone who eats too much of a food as a kid. Eventually, you never want to eat it anymore, and the thought of it just makes you sick. That food might as well be poison, and the thought of running another event makes me not up inside. It's not a pleasant feeling. Looking back, I probably should have taken a break after the first event, or really all of them, from business, and probably gone to therapy to work out some of the issues that it created, because they hit me at the core as a person, not just a business owner. Because I was dealing with a lot, and I needed time to mentally and financially recover. I should have spent a lot more time doing a post-mortem, looking at what had gone wrong and why, and what I could do better the next time around in some future version of a business, not necessarily that business. But I didn't. And I still carry some of that baggage today, and that's probably why I make videos like this and write about things like this. But I did learn valuable lessons, and this is the school of hard knocks. This is that expensive tuition that I paid with all those unearned or unpaid hours. So some of those lessons, the hard work, the climb, and subsequent fall, they're going to be present in any business endeavor. We can put significant time into launching a new product only to see it fall flat. I've done it. If you run a business, you're going to do it too. I don't think this is avoidable, but I believe you can compartmentalize the damage, at least when it comes to business, by asking questions such as, 1, what am I missing? What is required for this to go right, and what could keep this on the right track, and what could cause it to go wrong? 2, how can I de-risk? How can I limit my damage while still keeping the upside as open as possible? 3, how can I test quickly? What's the fastest way to validate market interest? 4, what's the worst case? What does this look like if it all goes wrong and it turns out worse than expected? How does it feel? What's it look like financially? Where are we at? And 5, how can I diversify? Can I run 2 parallel paths? Sometimes that works for certain things. Sorry, NFL teams, it's not going to work for you, but can I do 2 paths so one works in case maybe the other one doesn't? When I think back on my experience and about these lessons, what would I do differently? A lot. 1, I would have pre-sold tickets to de-risk things before committing any expenses, a Kickstarter type model. I could have structured spending differently to shift the economics more in my favor, meaning people got a percentage of profits or something like that instead of me just putting money up front. I could have recognized some undeniable warning signs, such as the world might possibly not want this product at the price that I was charging. Very early on, I could have canceled, got out, saved myself a ton of work, money, effort, and heartache. I would have gained some embarrassment along the way and taken a big hit to my self-esteem. And arguably, that's okay. I'd rather be embarrassed than lose a bunch of money or not get paid for working a bunch of hours. But in reality, we'll avoid embarrassment. We'll avoid admitting we're wrong kind of at all costs. It's like, I'll lose some money as long as I don't have to say I'm embarrassed. That's how our strange brain works, or at least mine does, and you're probably very similar to me. Biggest takeaways from all this? Failure is inevitable. No matter how much you try to control things, we will all eventually put in a colossal amount of effort only to see it fall flat. Don't plan for failure, but plan to avoid colossal failures. 2, control what you can. Take small steps to see if the path forward shows promise before committing fully or taking huge steps into the unknown. 3, don't bet everything. There's a very good chance that your desired specific outcome won't happen. You have to be able to survive mentally and financially to try something again. If I had to pick one lesson to stress, this would be the one. You have to live to fight another day. No matter how much of a certain thing or sure thing you think that bet is, there's always a chance you're wrong. And if you go all in and you're wrong, it's over. At least for a long time while you financially, mentally recover. And lesson number 4, there is value to be extracted beyond money. While I didn't get paid for those hours, I gained a lot of lessons, partnerships, and friends along the way that have become invaluable to get me to where I am today. These don't feel as good as money in the bank, but those lessons have helped me succeed today. And it's arguable I might not be here today if I didn't go down the road that I went down. Could I still be here, happy, content, successful in the business that I'm currently running if I didn't have those failures? We'll never know. But if I had to try and do it over, I would definitely try and avoid those so I could get here with a little less damage. Regardless of where you are in your journey, on the mountain or in the valley on the backside, know you aren't alone. I've been there, others have as well. The path to success is rarely a flat, straight line, and the most important thing isn't avoiding the valleys, but learning how to climb out of them with newfound wisdom and making sure that those valleys aren't the deep ones where we fall to our death. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more, you can subscribe to my newsletter, Seeding Thoughts, where I write about things just like this using the link below. Thanks for watching. Until next time, be nice, be thankful, and do the work.